to go. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Tennessee Titans and the Detroit Lions. That'll be taken in the end zone. And up past the 35, a very good return, but a penalty down. That may negate all the good work. So that will push him back.
And now we know why I have a little extra space to run, don't we? An illegal block in the back, that penalty will move them back.
On first down, Stafford here. And his first look is incomplete.
I know at times people think we use it too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open. And when you read zone, you've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone. Otherwise, you bring him into the play.
And that's precisely what allowed that defense to disrupt the pass.
Set! 180!
They'll run for the first time with Johnson. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 2 there, and it's third down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Stafford now to throw. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
Here's Jackson. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And it'll be Titan football. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Lock in. Hey, gotta go.
On first down, Trubisky. Caught, right side, it's Lewis. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. And a nice gain at 21 yards. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit. But get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are. You know, make someone miss in the open field.
This is caught by Antonio Brown. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A really nice gain of 25 yards. A first red zone opportunity for the Titans. They have a 1st and 10 at the 18.
Lock in.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it. And that'll fall incomplete.
Pressure, and that's certainly going to be a key to this game going forward. And that time, they were able to get in there and influence the throw. And remember, quarterbacks got to get rid of it. They don't have the tucker roll that they can fall back on anymore.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Looking to throw again, Trubisky. Throw taken in by Taylor, left side. His first catch, good for 16 and a first.
Blazing start to the game for him. 4 plays, 4 passes, and look at him now, 1st and goal. Pretty good start.
Already down there. Now they just don't want to settle for 3. See if they can put the final words in this script and knock it in the end zone.
Yeah, I just wonder what he's feeling out there right now because he looks so locked in throwing the ball. I don't know if he's thinking it's like 7-on-7 in practice or...
And he's going to score. It's a Titans touchdown. Mitchell Trubisky taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Titans have taken a first-quarter lead. So a quarterback scramble, certainly a pass play, but he saw something, tucked it, and got in the end zone.
A lot of quarterbacks, when they scramble, they're scrambling to create more time to throw the ball downfield. In this situation, as you noted, he tucked it and took off. Great play by him.
That's fielded in the end zone. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for. Is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's two different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some?
And the Titan defense steps up here, and down he goes. Well, it was second and long. Now it's third and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
Third and long. It's Stafford. Throwing deep for Gallup. Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Picked off by Bryce Callahan.
So it's third and long, and you know this is going to be a pass. So defensively, they bring in an extra defensive back and just blanket the field. And this is an ill-advised throw right here as it winds up being picked off easily.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Lock in.
After the interception, here's Trubisky. To the right side, complete to Taylor. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. That one goes for 24 yards.
We talk about mobility on quarterbacks all the time. Here's where it really pays off. Able to move, evade, and is accurate throwing on the run and picking up the first down.
Looking left sideline, incomplete. Antonio Brown, the intended receiver. And now it's second down. Well, you got a young quarterback. You know, maybe that's just an example of a growing pain for him.
I think you're right about that, because when the game starts to move fast and it moves quickly on him, a lot of times they fall back on what they know best, their arm. He's slinging it on this one. Had a wide open target, but didn't have the proper footwork to increase his accuracy.
And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave him with third and still 7 yards to go. From the gun, it's Trubisky. And he'll just chuck this one up into row G. It's incomplete. Charles, that's an important third down stop. You don't want to spot him 2 touchdowns here early.
You're trying to slow momentum down. You've already given up the score. They're coming right back at you. You're exactly right. Being able to hold them there and force a decision on 4th down, that's big for the defense.
So he splits the uprights, and has to be a nice feeling. Right when it left his foot, knew it was good.
Yeah, just like a good 3-point shooter in basketball, right? Release the ball, fall back on defense without even looking. You know it's going in the hoop.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now, and I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football.
The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup. First down carry here for Johnson. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down.
And while there was no gain on that run, we do know coaches whose identity is rooted in taking it almost to the limit and then changing things up on you down the stretch. I think we're getting really close to that point in time, though, where the identity may have to go out the window, and they've got to go a little bit faster in order to try and win the game.
Over the middle, complete to Tate. First catch so far for Tate, and he's got a first down. So operating from Tennessee territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. They'll hand it off now. Johnson. He'll get only a couple down to the 44. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
On second down, here's Stafford. And that is incomplete. Kenny Galladay, the intended receiver, and it's third down.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the number one thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Throwing on third down, Stafford. And they're going to get him. He's taken down for a sack back at the 47-yard line.
They were in the top 5 in sacks in the league coming into this one. That's their third one in this game. Obviously, pass rush has been a strength of this team all year long.
And apparently they're not satisfied with top 5. They want to climb that ladder.
Yeah, I think it goes back to their offseason. They decided to make it a priority, and it's working out.
And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point
kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him in contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about that. Super tough.
He finds Corey Davis. And they work this out past the 25. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
Looking to throw, Trubisky on first down. Escaping the pressure right. Wide open receiver complete. A little too much extracurricular there.
When you have a game with a lot of contact, tensions are going to run pretty high. You're going to be emotional, but you have to harness it somehow, and he didn't on that play.
Now Trubisky on first down. And this is going to be incomplete.
When you see passes knocked down by those guys I call the frustrated fullbacks, the linebackers, you know that in their zone coverage, they were able to drop, see the ball thrown, and react to it very quickly.
So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. Play action. Now Trubisky. And that is caught by Davis for a Tennessee touchdown. In for the score. And the Titans find a way to stretch their lead. The fly route works for the TD grab.
And you know the receivers love to say, if we get even with the defender, we're leaving. And that's exactly what he did all the way into the end zone. And then he was on the business end catching it once he got over the stripe.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So the Lions offense ready to go back out onto the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
So following the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 25. Stafford. And that will be incomplete. They couldn't hook up on what's going to be the final play. The Lions on 3rd down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 10.
Set, blue 60.
Off of play action. Here's Stafford. And Tate's got it. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. A big 30-yard play on third.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion, and both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Again, it's Stafford. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know, there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Just a 25-yard punt, not what he was hoping for by any stretch. And out will come the offense as they take over. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. They have to be pleased with the way that they moved the football thus far.
And why wouldn't they be? 2 touchdowns on a field goal in their first 3 possessions. They're playing so well right now, the field goal probably feels like a disappointment.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. That one goes for 36 yards.
They hit that crossing route really well. Excellent timing, puts it right on him, and he keeps running.
Yeah, turned it upfield for good yardage. So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. They go play action here on 1st down. They'll get this to his tight end. It's Jonnu Smith. The Titans efficient passing on this drive. There's another 1st down. And with that completion, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always bounce back after plays. But with the kind of numbers he's putting up here, it's starting to wear on him a little bit, I think. So they're looking at each other and trying to figure out what defense will work and how can they play better without getting beat deep for big passes.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete. So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. On 2nd down, Johnson. And he's going to bring this one down to right about the 20-yard line. A nice job to get 8 there after the incompletion, and now they'll look at a 3rd and 2 coming up.
And after that type of a run, there's some talking going on down on the field, but it's not trash talking. The guy who just carried the ball, he's going back and telling his offensive line, great job, keep it up, and we'll break that one soon.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things has gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. And Suckup will put this one right through. And the lead now increases to 20-0. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line.
With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they've got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick-hitting plays in order to try and supplement the run game. You don't totally abandon it, but you try and give it a little bit of help.
Now a handoff. Johnson. And he goes across the 20 to the 22.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
The Lions on third down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 9. Here's Stafford. It's complete on the bubble screen. That's Tate. The completion there winds up a wash, and it'll bring up 4th down.
That was impressive to me because while it was a pass play, they still rallied to the football like they were filling running lanes, and they were able to put the receiver on the ground.
And here now the punter, Martin, booming this one away. With it is Jackson. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Titans. As his guys are in for 6, and the Titans are going to add on to their lead. And we always talk about kick returns being so exciting on kickoffs. Punt return almost equally exciting.
And typically we talk about the kickoff return being the most exciting 10 seconds in football. Let's just cut it in half for a punt return and make it the most exciting 5 seconds in football. It's a great, glamorous, dashing play.
That's fielded in the end zone. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. Here's the Lion offense now as they get ready to take over. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a first down. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this out to about the 38-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on 1st down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run. They try the left side with Johnson. And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. A minute 59 to go in the first half. We'll come back to Ford Field after this. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. On 3rd down, Johnson. And he'll be brought down with the first down and a late flag here, too. And he may get a few more tacked on for good measure. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Following the penalty, it's Johnson. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs
under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
And a few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point.
Set, lady.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Stafford, he's going to sling this deep. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by the former first-rounder Trey Waynes.
Well, it's 3rd and long, and you've got a few different ways to play it offensively. But this is not the type of offense that's going to wave the white flag. They're going to keep chucking it. And this time, it results in an interception.
Lock in.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Pressure comes, and Trubisky goes down.
How about that? One of the so-called little guys putting the pressure on. That was a strong safety. When I was in college, we often called that a lightning blitz.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down.
Lock in.
Out of the gun, Trubisky. Flushed out right. That's brought in by Davis over the middle. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Let's go.
Tight it right. 3 down.
Behind. Hey, 18. Start.
On 3rd down, Trubisky. Forced out to his left. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Jarrett Davis. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. On now is the Titans punter, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. Taking a couple yards shy of midfield. 12 yards on the return that time. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. The Lions offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. And likely just out of field goal range. Could be Hail Mary time.
And haven't we seen in recent years that the Hail Mary seems to be more successful in the NFL than before?
Absolutely we have. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And nearly picked off there. Almost intercepted. Instead, 2nd down. So we're at halftime here in the annual Thanksgiving game in Detroit. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, the Titans hold the lead, and they'll get the football first as the 3rd quarter gets underway. That's fielded in the end zone. Able to spin free. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. The Titans offense now, they work their way back onto the field. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Caught right side, Davis. Now, I know it's an emotional game, Charles. You can't do that.
And when you get into your film sessions and you argue your case with your coaches, that's exactly what they say at the end. You just can't do it. It costs your team.
Lock in.
They go play action. Trubisky. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. The intended receiver there was Jonnu Smith. That'll bring up 2nd down.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just 1 target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target of the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him, though. Find him.
Over the middle, that's caught by Taylor. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Give him 16 yards there, a Tennessee first down. Trubisky now 10 of 16 throwing the football. It's 1st and 10.
4 down.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will score. Touchdown, Titans. Chris Thompson, his 6th touchdown of the season. And this Titan offense is running away with this one. Extra point put through by Suckup, and the lead will swell by 1 more. Now here's Suckup out to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. So we get a look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
And Jones has it over the middle. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. They'll fake it. Now Stafford. He's going to go for a big play down, and he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by the USC man, Adoree Jackson. Thought they had something going there to break that goose egg here in the second half, but to no avail.
Hope was alive until that interception. What a terrific play, taking the ball away after it looked like they were starting a drive.
And now that shutout still standing. You know that's something those defensive guys hold a lot of pride on, too.
No doubt about it. They're excited about where they are in this game.
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Hands up. Lock in, lock in.
49, check 49, check 49.
Now Trubisky to throw on 2nd. Big hold to the 30. Got a man out of the backfield. It's Chris Thompson. 13 yards is the pickup for Tennessee and a 1st down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
On the ground, it's Thompson. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
Well, as we've learned over the years, just because a guy plays left tackle doesn't mean he doesn't have run blocking abilities, and we just saw it there. Controlled the line of scrimmage, created a big gain.
That's kind of a bonus. He's there to protect that high value that you have back under center, but he creates space in the run game.
Yeah, not only can he dance, he can mash, too.
Throwing here, Trubisky. Over the middle to Smith. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. 18 yards on each of the last 2 plays, and they're picking up big chunks now.
Let's go, let's go.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Tight right, tight right. Sit up, 180.
On 1st and 10, it's Trubisky. To the right side, complete to Taylor. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9.
Sit up, 180. Hands up. Come on, gotta go.
From the gun, it's Trubisky. His throw caught at about the 5. And he will score. Touchdown, Titans. In for the score. And this Titans offense continues to pour it on. Extra point up and good by Suckup. And that will extend this big lead. Now here's Suckup out to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So out now come the Lions. And 3 interceptions in this game. And I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4 is kind of, oh, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, and what's interesting is, what do the coaches decide to do now? Having thrown 3, do you alter your offensive strategy? Do you take the ball out of his hands and maybe turn to the running game? Or do you have that supreme confidence that he's going to turn things around?
We'll see what they do.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
On second down, here's Stafford. And he drops it incomplete, and their struggles continue here. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. And he hits the tight end. It's Deion Sims. He got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now,
blitz coming, and down he goes.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
Play action. Stafford. Over the middle, complete to Tate. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A good pickup there of 20 yards. Stafford now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. From the gun, here's Stafford. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Sims. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a second and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. To throw on second down is Stafford. Oh, a hit. He lost the football. Stafford puts it on the ground. And that might be Titan football. It is.
Well, partner, they went empty set there. No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control.
Yeah, he's got nobody else there to protect
No one else there to protect, which means he's got to get rid of the football and absorb the hit, but not go down and fumble the ball.
Good starting field position for him as they come up 1st and 10. And they'll start the drive on the ground with Johnson. Pushing through the contact. And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44.
In my book, that's running the ball well, but with intelligence. How about him keeping the clock moving, staying in bounds?
Yeah, even though it's the third quarter, you're thinking ahead, aren't you? This is where your running game can really help you with a lead in the second half.
I agree totally. It's not just end-of-the-half situations that you worry about the clock. It's throughout the game. And with a lead, stay in bounds. Make them fight harder to try and catch you.
Uncorks one for Davis. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Well, partner, I think the defensive fellas got the memo, and they decided to cover him on that play.
Yeah, he's already up over 100 yards in this game. They tried a deep shot, couldn't get it.
Yeah, when you've had that much success, finally someone said, let's try and put a stop to it and put people on him.
Lock in.
From the gun on 3rd down, it's Trubisky. The open man is Smith. Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a 1st down.
Like so many tight ends nowadays, they have no problem at all putting him in the slot and letting him go to work, and that's a nice pitch and catch right there for a 1st down.
Trubisky now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Back now at Ford Field. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. They'll throw on first down with Trubisky. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. The 20. Touchdown, Titans. 3 touchdown passes now for Mitchell Trubisky. And this Titan offense is running away with this one. You know, the man on our cover, John Madden, so synonymous with these Thanksgiving Day games. He was on TV for these from, I think, 81 to 01, giving out the Turkey Leg Award and turducken he always talked about. Special when you got a guy going off like this. I think he would be a good recipient of the Turkey Leg Award.
Well, he's definitely already worked on that leg. Is it possible he could end up getting the whole turkey?
Yeah, give him a thigh,
or the
too.
whole turducken. And it's really great that you mentioned Coach Madden because everyone knows him from this. Everyone knows him from the broadcast booth. Remember, he won a Super Bowl as a head coach in Oakland.
Yep, he did indeed. But right now, we are watching maybe one of those turkey leg performances with his second touchdown there. So here come the Lions now. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
They're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
Completing it to the right side, Johnson. And all the way down to the 22-yard line. A big play there for Detroit. 42 yards. Well, even after all those interceptions, he's not deterred, still confident to go deep at work there.
I think all the old rules about playing that position still apply. If things go wrong, you still act like you're the best player out on the field. You still carry that supreme arrogance with you and continue to fire the ball. I've seen guys have games like this, and this is where you find out if you're great or not. Can you overcome some interceptions and still lead your team to victory? Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Tackle made there by Kamale Correa.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And they go the wrong way here. Knocked back to the 20. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th.
Brandon, we're into the second half, and this offense has not scored a lot of points, and that was another example of why. I think it's time to open things up and start really trying to move the ball.
Stafford, and he'll find Galladay. That's complete. And he takes this one in for the Lions touchdown. As his guys are in for 6, and the Lions gain a bit of respectability. Extra point good by Prater as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. Here's Prater now set to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And a little spin cycle. Room to run now. Antonio Brown, kiss him goodbye. Touchdown, Titans. Antonio Brown, 105 yards. And this Titans offense continues to pour it on. So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. Now the Lions offense, they get ready to head back out there. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you score points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
Okay, I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
Yeah, fourth quarter. Maybe you do start to watch as the arm there, the leg's still there. This has been a tough game. To throw is Stafford. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check. And his pass is intercepted for the fourth time today. Picked up by the USC man, Adoree Jackson. And the return will stop right around the 25. Well, Charles, he's thrown 5 picks in a game before, and right now, after that one, he's standing on number 4.
And right now, your defensive coordinator is asking the offense coordinator, can you do anything to slow this down? Because my guys have to keep running back out on the field, so play calling may come into it a little bit, maybe run the ball a little bit more. But a lot of it depends on the scoreboard. They may have to keep throwing it.
Now, the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete.
Lock in, lock in.
2nd and 10 now. It's Trubisky. And he whips that one incomplete there.
You don't want to throw away this excellent field position, but that's 2 incomplete passes in a row. Definitely need something big here on 3rd and 10.
Conversely, defense has done a good job on 1st and 2nd down. The coverage has been draped.
Lock in, lock in.
Play action. It's Trubisky. He's going to take a shot for the end zone. And into the end zone for a Tennessee touchdown. In for the score. And the Titans capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6.
You have fun with this one, partner?
I am. I mean, he's been fun to watch under center.
We always talk about, getting to the next level, right? When we see people get into the zone, this guy's in the master class right now. What a performance he's putting on, just carving them up.
4 touchdown passes. Carving him up is right. Seems like everything he throws is going to be a completion and going in the end zone. Now here's Suckup out to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
Well, from an offense's perspective, that sure was pretty because the corner route, it's extremely difficult to defend from my perspective.
What we just saw there, is that sort of the evolution of the tight end position?
Yeah, I think it is because more and more, tight ends are being treated like wide receivers. These are some agile players who can make a play in any spot on the field.
Try to lay one up, and my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Jason Verrett, and a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Here's Johnson. He will push his way down to about the 14th. The tackle was by the Boston College product, Harold Landry.
Well, they held him to a short gain on that one, and it almost felt like on that first run, they were trying to just throw the jab at him. So how do you stop a jab? Get closer and smother it, just as they did on that last play.
They go to Johnson again. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late, but he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man. Prater for the extra point as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. Here's Prater now set to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. Here's the Titan offense now as they make their way back onto the field. The outcome of this one, well, we know who's going to win it. It's just all window dressing at this point. Got me thinking, what's the biggest blowout that you've been a part of as a player, broadcaster?
No, I'm not going to go to the player part because when I think blowout...
Because you won every game as a player.
No. I think about being blown out. And no one wants to go back to those memories. But, you know, when I was calling college football, I saw a game that, you know, a team put 70. I actually saw it happen twice. A team put 70 on their opponent. And in the NFL, in the 2017 season, I saw one of those changing of the guard games where a team that hadn't been very good before now was dominating and kicking around a team who had been ruling their division.
And that's when you earn your paycheck, right? As the analyst, you got to fill that time.
You've got to know what's going on out there and how it all happened.
Well, obviously that begs the question, what game was it?
That was Seattle hosting Los Angeles, the Rams.
Yeah.
Their second meeting of the season, and the Rams turned it around from their first one and blew out the Seahawks.
3rd and 2. Now Trubisky. Lost the football. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And they'll have great field position here as the ball will be at the 15-yard line.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. This linebacking core, they've done a good job of keeping that running game in check, haven't they?
They certainly have, and what they'll also do when this game is over is thank the guys up front, the big defensive line, because they've kept them clean, so to speak. Not letting blockers get to them, allowing them to run to the football and keep that running game bottled up.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space.
And now here is another interception. Picked off inside the 10. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran a wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
They'll run with Thompson. And he stopped immediately there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. And some room for him there as he'll take this up to about the 15. That 2nd down run, a big help as 7 yards leaves him with just a 3rd and 3 now. The Titans on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. Here it's 3rd and 3. They'll run it now out of the gun. And an alley to run. He's got a 1st down and more past the 30. And finally down at the 41-yard line. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Titans, they just keep on rolling as they move to 9-2 with a win here. And they'll get a few extra days to get ready for next week.